Hi, I'm Julie Donnelly from Julstro Muscular Therapy Center. I've developed the unique Julstro Techniques to be a self-treatment system to release the muscle spasms that are caused by repetitive strain injuries. In this session of pain-free living, we're going to talk about cramping, that sudden, horrible feeling you get. You're out running, next thing you know, you're on the ground. Or you're in bed, and the next thing you know, you're wide awake and you can't get over the pain. The thing that people do that's just the reverse of what they should be doing is they immediately try to stretch that muscle out. That's cramping. What's happening is muscles have what's called an all or nothing response. So a muscle is either going to contract 100% or it's not going to contract at all. Now, if you're doing something light, let's say picking up a feather, you need, argumentatively, let's say 1% of your muscle fibers to pick up a feather. You're then trying to pick up something heavier like a bowling ball, and maybe 30% of the muscles are being contracted to pick up a bowling ball. Then you're trying to pick up a refrigerator. Well, 100% of your muscles are needing to contract to give you the power to pick up the refrigerator. This is going on everywhere in your body. Whatever muscles are contracting 100%. And then you just use more and more fibers as you need more power. When it comes to a cramp or a Charlie horse, most of the time you'll feel it in your calf. There are other places in the body that will get a cramp, but usually it's the calf, so we're going to talk about that. So you have 100% of the muscle fibers are contracting 100% violently and suddenly, and you're taken out of breath, and like I said, you're down on the ground. If you start to try and pull to stretch the muscle, what's happening is the muscle is pulling, you're pulling in the opposite direction, and the muscle fibers actually end up tearing, which is why you may limp around for another 3 or 4 days after the Charlie horse has happened. However, if you go along with what's happening here, and it's counterintuitive, and so you want to really learn it before it happens so that you're comfortable with it, but you take and you push the two ends of the muscle fiber together, hastening the completion of that cramp. And it's really going to hurt, but it's going to hurt anyway. So if you can cut it down from 45 seconds or even a minute, if you can cut it down to 20 or 30 seconds, you've at least cut it in half. And you push the two ends together and you hold it. As you're holding it, get back your breath. Start breathing normally. When you can breathe normally again, you let go, take a few more breaths, get some oxygen in. Put your hands there and push back together a second time. Now, the second time isn't going to hurt like the first time. But what you're wanting to do is you're trying to get those muscle fibers, any that haven't completed the contraction, you're getting them to finish the contraction. When you can breathe a little bit, then you just let go, breathe, and then start to manipulate your calf just like you're wringing out a big, thick, wet towel. And just go from your knee down towards your ankle, or it could be your hamstrings or your quadricep, wherever you're feeling it. But going in the direction toward the insertion point. After you've done all that, now you can stretch safely. I had an Ironman triathlete that I had taught this technique to prior to an Ironman race. I was teaching a self-treatment clinic. And he contacted me and he said to me, "Julie, that technique you taught me for cramping really works." He said, "I was in the process of the running portion of the race," which if you're an Ironman, you know that that's the third part of the race. And you're pretty tired at that point already. And he had gotten a cramp in one leg. He stopped and he did everything that I told him to do. And then he got back to running again. About a mile further down the road, he had the same thing happen, but in the other leg. But he didn't want to stop, and so he did it the way he normally would do it. Well, he ended up limping the whole rest of the race with the way he treated the second leg. But the first leg, there was no pain. 2 or 3 days later, he sent me an email, and he said, "You need to share this with athletes everywhere." So I do. If you'd like more information, come to my website. It's julstro.com. And I also teach self-treatment clinics all over the United States. I hope to meet you at one of them. Thank you.